I was out in Newburgh earlier today and it is sweltering, but thankfully the city of Newburgh is stepping up to help keep residents cool. Mixed in with regular packages out for delivery are 10 boxes of vaccine vials and supplies. Take a look at this hydrant. It is covered on all sides and firefighters say this is a hazard. I'm here with Steve Whitman of Bola Wrap. He's about to demonstrate how the Bola Wrap works. Steve, you ready?
Ready. Wrap, wrap, wrap.
If you thought the snow would stop by this morning, boy, were you wrong. It is still coming down pretty strong. I'm Olivia Leach here at the Montgomery Stands Against Racism rally here at Veterans Memorial Park in Montgomery. As you can see behind me, the crowd is forming. I'm Olivia Leach and I'm at the Ulster County Fairgrounds. I'll tell you why drone photography has really taken off in the Hudson Valley. Take a look at this huge screen behind me. This is what emergency dispatchers will be monitoring closely for any accidents that might occur as road conditions worsen. Damola says in addition to exercise, there are some other things you can do to reach those 2020 fitness goals. Coming down the conveyor belt at this UPS facility in Poughkeepsie are boxes that have the potential to save countless lives. Boxes of vaccine doses and supplies ready to be delivered to local vaccination sites. It's part of UPS's worldwide effort to get people vaccinated against COVID-19. In the U.S. alone, UPS has delivered 90 million vaccines.
For UPSers, there's almost 600,000 of us, and this is personal. We all have family and friends that are dependent on getting the vaccine.
It's a complex logistical process to get vaccines distributed around the country. Once UPS receives the vaccines from distributors, they're sent through the UPS Louisville, Kentucky airport hub, then onto aircraft heading to cities around the country, then to UPS facilities like this one in Poughkeepsie. These boxes of vaccines and supplies may look like your ordinary online delivery, but each one is being tracked using labels implanted with GPS cellular technology.
This tracking technology allows us to see where these vaccines are within about 3 meters. Matter of fact, I have a label here. Tracking technology it looks just like this, very, very thin.
The vaccines arrive in specially designed packaging, engineered to maintain proper temperature using cold blocks or dry ice.
So these are the vaccines right here.
Jason LaFavor is one of the UPS drivers who volunteered to deliver vaccines.
It's a big responsibility, and for someone like me and a lot of other people who've been affected by this, I lost a couple people personally, and that hurt a lot. And being a father of 2, my parents are elderly also. Anything I can do to keep everyone safe.
Mixed in with regular packages out for delivery are 10 boxes of vaccine vials and supplies. Precious cargo ready to be delivered from this UPS facility out to local vaccine hubs. Once the vaccines are loaded onto his truck, it's time for Jay to head out. It's a lot of pressure, making sure these vaccines get where they need to go on time. Today, Jay is delivering vaccine kits to the Dutchess County Department of Health. Delivering these vaccines is part of Jay's job, but it's more than that.
I just loved coming in and knowing every day that this is how I could give back to my community. I was born and raised in Poughkeepsie. I'm a resident here, 36 years. So, like I said, I love it, giving back to the community and making sure that they're safe and just doing my part overall.
Reporting in Poughkeepsie, New York, Olivia Leach, Spectrum News. In dirt, through the woods, and even over water, Special K can do it all. But Special K isn't your typical dirt bike racer. Kayla O'Neill is an 18-year-old girl, a recent graduate of Warwick Valley High School, and she's dominating the world of dirt bike racing.
My dad, he actually started racing when I was maybe 2, and as I got older, I wanted to try it. So when I was 6, he put me on a bike, and then I started riding.
And it was love at first rev. As soon as she turned 12, she started racing competitively. Now at age 18, she and her family travel all across the country, competing in the Grand National Cross Country Hare Scramble Series.
It's like a 12-mile loop through the woods, and it can be anything. There's sand, mud, rocks, roots, anything, just hiking through the woods.
She glides through the woods with ease, making it all look easy.
It's very nerve-wracking, Once you get going, you just get into the zone and you just don't think about anything else besides like what you're doing.
Between school and homework, Kayla found time to practice multiple times a week after school. She hopes to go pro within the year, and every race counts. So when she found out the GNCC snowshoe race in West Virginia was on the same day as her high school graduation, she had a dilemma.
I definitely really didn't know what to do. I mean, I knew from the start I was definitely going to pick my race just because I put so much time and effort into it, and I had like my championship on the line.
So she went to the race instead of graduation and ended up winning.
I grew up with all my friends. I really wanted to graduate with them, but it ended up being worth it.
Her parents are 110% committed to helping Kayla reach her dreams, spending thousands of dollars a year on her bike, gear, and travel to races. It's worth it for them to help her get closer to her goals.
First time I did go race, I was like, my heart was in my throat. Like I couldn't even imagine like my little girl out there doing that, and it was all boys.
It's not easy being a girl in such a male-dominated sport.
We go to different series and like I'll run like a boys class and I'll roll up and be like, oh, let's give her a 10-second head start, and you're like, oh, it's great.
But Kayla doesn't let the naysayers get in her way. She just revs her engine and leaves them all in her dust.
Hopefully at some point in my life get a lot of sponsors, hopefully, and try and make some money out of it and try and get somewhere and just be somebody in the racing world.
Olivia Leach, Spectrum News. The Bee Tavern in Middletown is known for its honey-infused cocktails and wings.
We decided that since we're going to do the bee theme, that we're just going to go all out and put honey in everything.
But things weren't so sweet this past year for owner Shauna B. After being forced to close in March, business took a steep dive.
It was a struggle because we still had to pay the bills that were here. And I lost a lot of inventory. I had about a full cooler of beer as well. Full kegs, and I had to lose all of that.
On top of that, Shauna herself got sick with COVID in March of 2020. She was put on a ventilator and spent weeks in the ICU. While in the hospital struggling to survive, she worried if the business would even survive.
At that point, we didn't know what we were doing with our own lives, you know, just living day to day. So to like figure out where the business was going to go, I really couldn't tell you. I just didn't know. Hi, how are you?
They reopened this February after being closed for 10 months. Shauna knows her business is lucky to have survived. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, Black-owned small businesses were almost twice as likely to permanently shut down as a result of the pandemic. Like many Black-owned businesses, the Bee Tavern didn't qualify for a federal PPP loan.
Hi, how are you?
But she fought hard to come back. Shauna got creative, advertising changes on social media, adding an outside patio space, and offering her famous cocktails to go.
So these are our Bee Quarantine drinks.
To bring in more customers, they expanded the menu to offer full entrees.
There you go. Before, we were just a bar with small bites. And that's not going to cut it now. You know, it's not going to pay the bills.
Shauna is determined to see her restaurant thrive, despite the challenges of the last year.
COVID and having, you know, dealing with, you know, almost not making it, you start to appreciate more things. You start to appreciate things in life more. And I just realized that I have a purpose here. And I'm thinking that this is my purpose.
In Middletown, Olivia Leach, Spectrum News.